Ang una ko pong tanong, yung pong total revenue nyo for the years 2016, 17, 18, and 19. Magkano po ang inyong total revenue before yung cost of goods sold? Yung total po.
Your Honor, I will describe po yung sa ABS-CBN Corporation or parent company only. So, yung revenue po namin before any expenses in the years from 20 anong year po?
Limang taon.
5 taon.
2016,
Nung 2015 po,
18,
our
19.
revenue is 21.8 billion. Nung 2016 po, it's 24.5 billion. Nung 2017, it's 22.8 billion. 2018, 22.8 billion. And 2019, it's 25.4 billion po.
So on the average, it's about 22.5 billion for the last 5 years on a yearly basis.
Thereabouts po, yep. Opo.
Ngayon, dun sa cost of goods sold ninyo, on the average, for the last 5 years, magkano ang cost of goods sold ninyo?
On the average po, it ranges from 20.6 to about 24 point. So kung 22, it would average po to about 21 billion po siguro.
21 billion. So ang inyong gross income is about more than 1 billion.
If you average for the 5 years, it would be a little over 1 billion po. There was a year po na we had a loss.
Okay. Ngayon, out of this, magkano ang taxes, gross, yung taxes na binayaran nyo bilang isang korporasyon, yung corporate income tax on a yearly basis for the last 5 years?
For income tax po, for the last 5 years po, for ABS-CBN, is 2015 po, we paid 555 million. 2016, we paid 758 million. 2017, we paid 195 million. 2018, 164 million. It does not include po the unapplied creditable withholding tax that we paid in advance through the withholding tax system of the government.
Okay. So that's the average gross income, corporate income tax that you have paid. What about the withholding tax of your employees, and this amount actually was remitted to the government? So magkano ang yearly withholding tax ng inyong mga empleyado?
Ang withholding tax po namin ay dalawang components. Isa pong withholding tax on compensation at saka po expanded withholding tax. I don't have the total, but I can eyeball it po to get the total for the two. Noong 2015 po, it's about 1.8 billion. Noong 2016 po, it's about 2.2 billion. Noong 2017 po, it's about 2 billion. Noong 2018 po, it's about 1.5 billion. At ito naman pong yun na po. Yung 2019 naman po, it's about 1.7 billion.
Now, in addition to this, with your expenditures, you are paying, when you buy items from your suppliers, you are paying the so-called value-added tax.
Opo, we pay value-added tax po. The
On the same time periods, magkano ang nabayaran yung value-added tax on items that you have bought from your suppliers?
Oh. Your Honor, what I have po is already the net, which is the output tax payable versus our creditable input taxes. I don't have po the original amount of the input tax. If I can share po with you, if it's okay with you, I'll share with you the VAT payments po na ginawa namin net of our input taxes.
Please do so.
For For 2015, Your Honor, the value-added tax that we paid is 1.6 billion. 2016, it's 1.5 billion. In 2017, 1.3 billion. 2018 is 942 million. And then 2019 po, it's about 1.3 billion. In total po, for the last 5 years, that is 5 billion po.
Okay. Now, if you look at your FS, what are your biggest cost items in your financial statement? Let's just look at the last year's performance. Ano ba yung mga 5 biggest cost items that you have in your operating expenses?
Your Honor, hanapin ko lang po yung file ko for that. Your Honor, the 5 highest components po of our cost would be our production cost, our cost of sales, which is actually the cost of the products that we sold, and then our general and administrative expenses, and our employee cost, Your Honor.
Ilang percent yung general administrative cost at saka yung salaries and wages of your employees?
No, Your Honor, if you would allow me po, I'll ask my colleague to compute for the percentages and then I can get back to you on it, sir.
Okay, okay. I'll have another question. One of your companies, this is the Big Dipper. It is registered under PESA, under Republic Act 7916. And under this law, it provides incentives to companies that will put up their operations within the ambit of this law. And you pay taxes, it's 5% on gross income in lieu of the corporate tax of, let's say, 30 or 32 or 34%. If you look at the last 5 years, magkano ang binayaran ninyo ng Big Dipper under Republic Act 7916?
From yung 2015 po, it's what you call a transition year from a income tax holiday to 5%. So medyo mas mababa po in 2015. So nung 2015 po, we paid 4.4 million pesos. This represents the 5% income tax. And then 2016 po, 115 million. 2017 po, 120 million. 2018, we paid 119 million. And in 2020, we paid 120 million. So this is more or less po close to about 600 million for the 5 years.
How many percent did you save in terms of taxes? With
Your
discount we registered with PESA.
Your Honor, the savings on the taxes po is maybe theoretical because you would probably compare the 30% tax versus the gross receipts tax of 5%. But because po by virtue of being a PESA registered enterprise, we enjoy po the 5% tax rate. So the difference po, kung simple computation, is about 25% gross up. Pero po, like we said yesterday, hindi po siya as applicable. Kasi po, tax neutral po siya even if it's going to be inside ABS-CBN.
All of these financial statements and the ITR that you have submitted with the BIR, I would like to find out, during the last 5 years, have you been audited by the Bureau of Internal Revenue? And you tell us the findings of the BIR, if there are any, as far as the audit that they conducted on the financial position and statements of the company, of ABS-CBN.
For the last 5 years po for ABS-CBN Corporation, ABS-CBN Corporation has been audited on an annual basis by the Bureau of Internal Revenue, as also presented by the BIR yesterday. In terms of their assessment on an annual basis, they would see po certain differences between what we've paid and what they've assessed. And in most cases po, those are differences po in or omissions or errors by the company which relates to withholding taxes or difference po in how a tax should be applied. Those were settled po with the BIR on an annual basis, and as a matter of fact po, every year, as a requirement po when we deal with government agencies, we actually get po a BIR tax clearance. Every year po nakakakuha po kami ng tax clearance, at para po sa isang taxpayer, ang tax clearance po ay ang, I would say, bukod tanging papel na manggagaling sa BIR na magsasabi po na ang isang taxpayer, isa man po itong individual or korporasyon, that they paid po all their taxes. Para po siyang diploma ng college na nagpapatunay na natapos mo. Sa amin naman po, nagpapatunay na wala na po kaming pag-uutang sa BIR at ayos po lahat ng pagbabayad namin.
So, nabayaran nyo lahat ng dapat bayaran, and the audit of the BIR shows that you have complied, you have paid all the taxes, and that the BIR has given you the tax clearance for the last 5 years on a yearly basis.
Tama po yan. It even extends beyond 5 years. From what I have po from 2010 to 20, yung pinaka-recent po is for the, as of certain period of 2019. I think it's February of 2019. Or sorry, June 30.
Mr. Chair, can we ask the BIR to confirm the statement of ABS-CBN that they were given tax clearance during the last 5 years and even before the last 5 years? Do we have somebody from BIR?
Chair, Congressman Go is asking if there's somebody from the BIR, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Chairman Alvarez, the BIR is being called. Do we have Assistant Commissioner Mapoy?
Si Mr. Mapoy.
We see you, Mr. Mapoy. Sorry.
Mapoy, you are recognized.
Mr. Sir, taxpayer service.
This is Assistant Commissioner Cabantac. Tama po ba?
No, sir. Division chief, sir.
Division Chief
Regular taxpayer service, sir.
Okay, the big tax. Have you already taken your oath?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go
No,
ahead. Mr. Chairman, with your
hearing.
permission.
Kung Mark, pwede na po kayo tumuloy.
Yeah, I'd like to repeat my question. ABS-CBN, as you stated, that you had audited their financial statements for the last 5 years, or even more than 5 years, and you have issued tax clearance year to year to the ABS-CBN. Would you confirm this, our guest from BIR?
The fact is, sir, we were able to conduct audit for the past number of years. What I have on record is 2016, 17, 18, sir. And currently, we have issued the 2019 letters of authority to investigate the tax liability if there is of ABS-CBN Corporation, sir.
What about the 2016, 17, 18? Have you issued tax clearance after the audit that you've conducted?
Maybe, sir, I'm not private. I'm not sure of the issuance of termination letter, sir. I'll still have to check, sir.
Mm-hmm. ABS-CBN, do we have a copy of the tax clearance issued by BIR to ABS-CBN?
Yes, Your Honor, we submitted it to the committee.
Okay, so it's in the committee, and now you will be audited on your 2019 financial statement.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, in our budget hearing for the 2020 budget, which we have approved, the proposed budget at that time was 4.3 trillion. Out of this budget that we approved in the 2020 budget, we have a budget deficit of about 600 billion. But our target borrowing actually for this year is about 1 trillion. And the excess borrowing from the deficit of 600 billion will be borrowed from foreign and local institutions. Now, I would like to find out from the BIR as well as from ABS-CBN, how much is the overall contributions that you have, that you do, contribute to the economy of the Philippines on a yearly basis, in terms of
Yearly payment.
yours.
Yearly payment. Yearly payment.
As far as Your Honor,
Baka naka-mute pa tayo.
nakamit na.
Tingnan mo kung naka-mute.
Hindi.
Okay, sige. Go.
As per BIR records, sir, for the past 2016 to 2019, ABS-CBN was able to contribute a total of 15,382,423,364 pesos and 16 centavos to be exact, sir. Your Honor.
That is the contribution of ABS.
Yes, sir. From 2016 to 2019, the total taxes paid and remitted taxes coming from the withholding of the employees and talent, sir, included everything, sir.
Including the corporate income tax, the value-added tax,
Stock stamps and other taxes.
other taxes.
Yes, sir.
This is a significant. If you look at the different companies in Metro Manila and probably in the entire country, how do you rank ABS-CBN?
Honorable Mark Go, we cannot hear you.
Okay. Ayan,
BMK. 63, 17.
sir, to answer your question, sir, for the year 2016, ABS-CBN was ranked number 65 as one of the top taxpayer. And then for 2017, ABS-CBN again was ranked as number 275 top corporate taxpayers. And in 2018, ABS-CBN was ranked number 339 top taxpayers, sir.
Okay, thank you. So, if and when that Congress will not approve the extension of the franchise of ABS-CBN, this is what we're gonna lose this country. And this is very important, considering the fact that the situation right now, when many companies are closing, many companies are out of business, if we're gonna lose this contribution in the succeeding years because of our failure, or because we will not be approved, meaning the franchise, I think this is another problem that we will encounter. In our meeting this morning in the Economic Affairs of Committee, this is one of the issues that we raised. What we would like to do is to stimulate the economy, and one way of stimulating is by ensuring that those who are in the country doing business now should continue and even strengthen their business. And that's what worries me in this particular situation. And I think in order to do the service to the country, I think it's high time that we consider favorably the application of ABS-CBN. This amount might not be as big as the others, but definitely it will have an impact to our country. The contributions that they have made will have a multiplier effect to the entire country. And I know that BIR is now doing its best to raise more taxes, considering that 2021 will be a very challenging year for all of us. We talked with Secretary Carl Chua, and he mentioned that the forecast for this year, in terms of growth of our GDP, it's negative 3%. So you can just imagine the impact of this if we will not approve the franchise of ABS-CBN. So, Mr. This is all what and I asked our colleagues in the House to highly consider the application of ABS-CBN for another 25 years in their franchise. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.